In last week's project, we learned how to make an effective camouflage using only spray paint. Now we're going to take it one step further and turn it into a ghillie suit.
For the materials, you're going to need your clothing that you're going to make the ghillie suit out of. You're going to need shoe glue. You're going to need netting, burlap, and different colored dyes depending on your terrain. The first thing you're going to do is go ahead and lay your clothing onto its front so that its back's exposed, and then you're going to take your netting and you're going to stretch it all along the clothing. And then you're going to take little dabs of the shoe glue and you're going to glue the netting to the back of your clothes. Alright, after your glue dries, what you're going to do is you're going to go to different spots and you're going to pull up on the netting. If it goes any farther than 2 inches up, you're going to add more shoe glue there. Make sure you get all along the edges really well. You really want this netting to stick well to your suit. Alright guys, once the netting is nice and tight all over the suit, you're going to go ahead and you're going to cut out all the extra netting along the outside there. Just be careful not to cut into your suit. Alright guys, I've got the netting covering the entire back, all the way around the arms, and right now I'm gluing on the chest. Now these bottom leg parts you really don't have to worry about because when you're laying down that's never really going to be shown anyway. So make sure you get all that netting on your back, all the way around your arms, and on your chest. After your suit is sufficiently netted with all the glue and everything, this is when you're going to start separating the burlap. Now the way I prefer to do it is when you pull all the burlap apart, this saves you from wasting any. You'll see in other videos people tying whole pieces and then fraying it. But if you do it that way, you're going to lose about half of your burlap, and it's really quite wasteful. So you get your strip, you set yourself down, and there's a couple ways to do it. You can either anchor it down with your heels like that, and then go and start pulling out the different pieces like this. This is a pretty fast and efficient way to do it. You can get 2 or 3 each time you pull. The other way is to go at an angle like this. You lay your hand down on one side. You don't put too much pressure, but a little bit. And you take the burlap and you start pulling out the strands from the side like that. That's a second way. And the last way is you'll go forward, put the burlap to your side, and you're going to hold on to it with one hand here, and you're going to pull out from the side right here. Just use whichever method is most comfortable for you. As you're pulling the burlap away, you'll eventually get to where you have between 7 and 14 inches going this direction. This is the fun part. You'll take your scissors and just go all the way along the edge and cut all those pieces out. Again, I like this method because you're using all of the burlap and you're not wasting half of your materials. Yes, it is a little time consuming, but that's what a ghillie suit's all about. After it's stripped off again, you'll just sit down, anchor it down with your heels, and start pulling it out again. The process for dyeing burlap's pretty simple. You're just going to go ahead and go to the store, buy your different colored dyes, maybe some bleach if you accidentally get it too dark, you can lighten up the color. But you'll put your burlap into the tubs of mixture, and basically all you have to do is follow the directions on the box. I will tell you how much water to use, how long to keep it in there. When you're done dyeing it, what you're going to do is you're going to take it to your shower, and you're going to rinse it off with cold water, and you'll see a bunch of the color running out of there. That's okay, you want that. Once the water starts coming out in a clear color, that means you're ready to let it start drying. To dry, I just like to take it out and plop it out in the sun. Here you can see some of my colors over here. Here's some of the greens and browns that I'm doing. And when you pull it out of the water, it's going to be a darker color and it's going to dry into a lighter color. So don't get frustrated if it's a weird color when you pull it out of the dye. Again, stay away from those weird colors like reds and pinks and blues. Go for the colors that best mimic your surroundings. Alright guys, our burlap is done drying, and now comes the part where we actually get to attach it to our ghillie suit. So what you're going to do is go to your pile of burlap. And you're gonna pull about 10 strands out. Don't like care if it's more or less than 10. Just try not to get a giant clump of them. Alright, and you're gonna go to your netting on your ghillie suit. You're basically gonna pass under the netting, pull it out, and then you're just going to do a half hitch or a granny knot. Give it a little tug, make sure it's on there good, and you're done. Now I like to start on the bottom and work my way up to the top. That way you're not constantly moving these around trying to find somewhere to make a knot. And again, when you're tying it, don't use all of one color in one area. Kind of make it random, guys. You don't want a giant clump of red. You want to mix up the different colors as you go. Now I'm using my ghillie suit for paintball, and that means my hat or top piece is going to be made out of my paintball mask. Now this is a bad thing because it's really bulky and a hard shape to hide, and also the visor is really shiny and you can't really cover it up too well. But if you're just using yours for you know, hiding or even for hunting, you're not going to need that. All you need is a hat, and then you're going to glue on or sew on some fabric, and then add the burlap right to that. Now you don't want your headpiece to have less or more burlap than your body piece. So a good way to tell if it's a good amount is take it and lay it down right onto your suit and kind of see if it's hiding that. If you can definitely tell that there's a starting and ending point, then you need to add more or take some off. And this is also a good time to check and see if you have any bulb patches like I do right there, and add some more burlap to that. As you can see here, we pretty much have enough burlap. There's some spots where we're going to want to add some more, and this will fluff out when I actually get into it and move around a bit. But you're going to look along the edge and see if you can tell where the edge are, and add pieces to that. Like the legs here, I'm going to need to add pieces here. Some of the edge there. But again, this is going to fluff up a bunch once I actually get into it and start. Alright guys, at this point you're done building your ghillie suit, but I'm going to show you the last step that you need to do to make it really effective. And you're going to need to do this step each and every time you go out to use your ghillie suit. What you're going to do is you're going to look at your surrounding area, and you're going to pick some of the natural vegetation that you see. After it's picked, what you do is you just go right to your ghillie suit and you start threading it directly onto it. And this is what's really going to make it blend in with whatever area you're going to be using yours at. Again, you have to do this every time you go out to use your ghillie suit. It'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to add a proper amount. But guys, you're going to stay really well hidden. And that's it. That's how you make a homemade ghillie suit. You don't need a lot of money. You don't need a lot of skill. All you need is a lot of patience. But let's go ahead and test out how well this works. If you want to see how well it works, just go ahead and click right here. Thanks for watching, guys.